Am live. I am so excited to be here today. I hope that everyone can hear me. One of the things that is really important for today is I am launching all new courses. I'm launching a new website. I'm launching so many just really cool things. So I'm super excited. So I am Courtney Herring, and I am known as someone who is able to create private practices. I'm also known as someone who believes in healthcare. I believe everyone should have access to healthcare. But one of the biggest things about all of this, right, is that in order for people to have access to healthcare, they also need to be treated with dignity and respect. And that starts with healthcare providers and their private practices. So my huge and most I guess what biggest accomplishment is I have created over 50 private practices. I've also created 4 small hospitals, psychiatric hospitals in the Midwest. And I just want to share with all of you some of the knowledge that I have that's just in my head. So I'm super excited. And what we're going to do is I'm actually going to show you my new website. If there are any bugs or anything is happening right now, go ahead and DM me and we will talk to IT. This is something that our IT department had to put up pretty quickly because I wanted to make sure that this was something that everyone would get, access to, and also, just really get to know who I am. So again, Courtney Herring, and I'm super excited for you to see exactly what is about to happen, on my screen. All righty here. And you all know how things happen, right? So I'm going to go ahead and share it. Hold on. Of course. And you all know I just have this Mac, and this Mac sometimes gets on my nerves because if you don't do everything that you're supposed to do, then it won't allow you to share the screen. So this has happened, before, but what I'll do is I will show this. All right. So at this time, you should be able to see my new website. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go through a couple things. So one of the things that I want to talk about is for healthcare professionals who want to transform from healthcare provider to entrepreneur. I am the person for you. I, myself, and my team are people who are very good at what we do. And not only have I created over 50 private practices, but I also own one of my own. We serve our nation's veterans, and we are proud to do so. And that is a population that we've always wanted to serve. So I want you all to definitely understand that. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll through. So you can all see this, and it's super cool. So obviously this is me, and yes, our new business is called Healthcare and Business. So as we go down, the website, I'm going to talk about let's build your private practice together. So I do have a program where you and I build your private practice together. It is a 6-month program. And basically what it entails is each and everything that you are going to need in order to create a successful private practices. Of course, we go over credentialing, we go over medical billing, we go over workflows, we go over who are you hiring, we go over are you a solo provider, are you a group provider. Also, we go over those policies and procedures. Do you even have those? Do you know what the latest, HIPAA laws are? I'll give you one example, which is very important. If you want to do telehealth, one of the things that you have to prove is that you have actually seen someone that is actually on the screen. So if you have an EHR that does not actually capture that information that yes, your camera was on, their camera was on, or you do not document it appropriately, then that means that you have some major issues that are going to have to be, taken care of. But because I know a lot of these things, this is just something that we go over and make sure that you also are compliant in many different ways in your private practice. So who is this program for? All of my programs are for anyone who loves, healthcare, and we'll kind of get into, the specifics. But this program is for medical doctors, practitioners, physical therapists, health providers like acupuncturists, chiropractors, licensed clinicals, licensed professional counselors, and anyone who wants to own a private practice. One of the things I always want you all to understand is that you do not have to be a healthcare provider in order to own a private practice. Yes, I am a social worker, but I could be just a regular person owning a private practice. So I always want people to, definitely not count you out. Don't count yourself out if you are none of them. And still create a practice that's amazing. So, one of the things that I always talk about, it's time to take the mystery out of private practice. I hear so many different myths that honestly are not true. And I know that a lot of times I talk about this and it gets a little controversial. Like, for instance, wait times. I don't think that people should have to wait. I don't think that there is emergencies every day in a private practice. If there is, that means that you don't have certain policies and procedures, or you don't have the staff or whatever to take care of that emergency, or you're serving the wrong people, right? If you have an emergency every day, then maybe you need to be in emergency healthcare. I hope that makes sense. So just little things like that. We also offer one-on-one guidance and group support in a community setting. So let's kind of, go down here. And I'm going to go actually into the courses. And yes, there are prices, and we'll discuss that as well. So, to be the best, you must understand the ins and outs of healthcare from a business perspective. And that is one thing that I really feel as though healthcare providers and also healthcare owners are missing. We have such a passion, because I'm one of those people. We have such a passion to help people. And that is awesome. I want everyone to be helped. But I also need to know the nitty gritty and the ins and outs of business. Now, I'm not saying that we have to get an MBA and all of this stuff, but in order for you to be successful in business, period, you have to understand what and how it runs. That doesn't mean that you have to do it. I'll give you an example. All of you, especially small business owners, should have some type of accountant. If you do not, I strongly suggest that, or bookkeeper. Now, I know I need an accountant. I know why I need an accountant. I'm not doing the accounting. But if you don't understand why you would need an accountant, this is why, this place and this course and myself, we are very important to you. There's a lot of things that people don't know about business. Then what happens is there might be complaints and myths that are untrue about private practice, because you don't know what you don't know. Well, I want you to know. I want you to know from all the years of experience of what I've actually gone through and all of the different things that I have learned. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, so all of our courses, the new courses, are all business creation, and then they'll be like part one. And the reason why they're part one is because you have to start somewhere. All of our courses are 4-week courses, except for my private practice course, which is a 6-month course, because it takes a long time to build a private practice. And it takes a lot, of planning and implementation and all of that great stuff. So they're all part one. They're all part one because you have to start from somewhere. So yes, there'll be a part 2, a part 3, and then something that is more advanced, so that you are really ready for all different aspects of business, especially in healthcare. So our first course is Business Creation Part 1, and that is for anyone who wants to create their own LLC, their PLLC, S Corp, C Corp, whatever type of business formation you would like to create. I have learned so many things. I have owned over 4 businesses, and I understand how to actually create them, and especially for healthcare providers. I also have, obviously, healthcare attorneys and all of that stuff that I have access to make sure that you are actually creating the right thing. Many people will go to different things or different I would say sites to create all of these things. And it's really difficult if you don't understand exactly how to do that. So if you're having an issue creating your LLC, PLC, or whatever, what have you, please go ahead. This is going to be the course for you. And you also need to know how to structure that course. That also means, how do you create your operating agreement? Are you going to have a group, practice? Is there other person involved? All of those things are needed before you even start seeing a patient or doing anything like that. Okay. So that's what we're going to talk about in business creation. Personal branding and coaching, part one. Now, with healthcare providers, there's certain things that you can and cannot do, I believe, on social media, and I will tell you why. Yes, I ask for all of my practitioners to stay away from politics, religion, and anything that's going to be polarizing. Now, why do I say that? I say that because we are to help all people. And I don't want somebody thinking that I am not servicing them correctly because we have different views. So I do ask, some of my providers to, that is a personal choice. And also, since we serve the community, you should, honestly present in that manner. So for personal branding and coaching, there's definitely different things that healthcare providers need to do in order to stand out. It is not the same as just being the regular Joe and having a marketing agency or whatever, what have you. So you will learn exactly how to do things with personal branding, coaching, part one. Medical billing, part one. Now, there's two different aspects of medical billing. A behavioral health billing is one course that we're teaching, and then also we're teaching one for medical providers. There are different codes. There are similarities. Behavioral health, they do use a lot of different codes. Medical, I would say, can use behavioral health codes and also medical codes. There's also different modifiers that need to be used. There's all types of little things, but I'm going to teach you the fundamentals of all of that billing. And how can we do that? Because I have owned my own agency and we have served many people with the medical billing and everything. So it's very important for you to understand. Again, remember, it's understand. Doesn't mean actually do. Now, if you would like to do, yes, you will be able to do that after you actually go through this course. And if you want to learn even more advanced coding and billing techniques, please, we're going to have a part two. All right. So the next is we're going to talk about healthcare content creation, right? So personal branding coaching, right? That's coaching, figuring out exactly what you want to do. And it definitely shows also that this course goes well with the group coaching course. And we'll kind of get into that as well. So we're going to show you how to post on social media. We're going to give you different things and different ideas per week, and that's going to be through each of your emails. So when you want to, obviously purchase this, you can definitely do this as well, and I'm going to explain how you can do that. Okay. So credentialing, part one, especially behavioral health folks or people that are like solo providers in the medical field, a lot of you would like to maybe credential on yourself, or you don't know how to actually credential. Well, I want to teach you how to do that. So many times people come to me and they ask me about credentialing. And you know what? It's time to teach you all how to do that. Credentialing is time consuming, but it is something that is repetitive. But I need all of you to understand it's not just filling out an application. That is definitely not it. You have to not only be organized, but you have to be meticulous in how you actually fill out these applications. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. So again, that's another one of our courses. One of the things that I've actually created, and I read a lot of different literature, and what I've found from amazing leaders and organizations who are doing just amazingly well is that they know how to automate, outsource, and then delegate. So I call it the AOD, okay? The AOD basically method. Sometimes, because I'm very good with systems, people come to me and they ask me, well, if I have a customer, I have a patient, kind of how do they go through my business, right? So what does it look like? So when a customer, first buys, do they get an automated email response? Do they get an invite to a community? Do you call them? What are you doing, right? In order for that, to happen? Well, you have to automate it. Then you have to outsource and you have to delegate. And we really go into that and how and who you might also need to hire. Because the point to me about any private practice or business is you want to work in out of your business, not in your business, right? A lot of times we are so in our business. That's not really the ultimate goal. And once you realize that and you're able to automate and add other people to your team, things get a lot easier for you. So let's go down. These are one of our newest ones. Team building and culture, part 1. Healthcare right now is having some serious issues with their workplace culture. People are leaving. People don't want to work there anymore. Well, I feel as though I have the solution for that. So what will happen is we're going to teach how can you actually retain people? How can you, get new providers? I've been reading a couple things just even on LinkedIn, and people talk about prescribers, right? And I think it was like Walgreens or it was somebody, and they said that basically they had a shortage of pharmacists. And as I read through, it's saying that that's not what the problem is. The problem is that pharmacists don't really want to work at these large corporations like CVS or Walgreens because of the way that they're being treated. So this is something that I wanted to bring to everyone's attention, and also be able to, if you're having this issue or you don't know how to do this, go ahead and, click on our team building and culture part 1 and join our course. The next thing is customer service and front desk part 1. Now, I know you all have heard me talk about this so many times. Your customer service, your person that is at the front desk is so, so important. If they do not capture insurance, they do not take copays, they do not take cash, they do not upsell even at the end. Maybe there's a supplement or a digital product at the end that might be useful for a patient after they leave. This is definitely something that you need to learn. Also, if you're somebody that wants to learn how to run a front desk, come on in here. It's very important. These things are not just for providers, they are for the general public. The last thing is time management in the healthcare industry. As I stated before, there's many healthcare providers that will say that they have all of these, it's okay for people to basically wait to be served. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, it's not. Anything to me over 30 minutes is completely unacceptable. Now, I'm not saying, all the time. I mean, once in a while, yes, we're gonna have, you could even get sick, for God's sake, right? But it shouldn't happen every time. And I know all of you know that I have recently changed and moved to a different area. And that has actually happened to me. I almost waited like 2 hours, but what else was I going to do? But what I will tell you is I won't be going to that doctor anymore. So that's a problem, right? Especially, and I'm going to be honest, I have Blue Cross and Blue Shield PPO. I know that every doctor wants that one. It pays pretty well. So again, the reason why you should treat your clients to the best of your ability, and it doesn't even matter what insurance they have. That's something also that we're going to talk about. But time management in healthcare practices, they're not very good. And yes, there's the argument that there's an emergency, but I'm going to tell you again, if there's an emergency every time you're working, something is not working. You have to have some type of emergency protocol or something so that your day is not disrupted. All right, so let's kind of go down. We also have a Discord community. This is where all healthcare providers will come. We already do have some people in there now. We're super excited. We will have daily prompts. We will have monthly audio events in there. And we want everyone to network, to learn from one another, and also people that are in our pool also be in there as well. We believe that community is everything. Next is obviously my story, if you would like to read about that, and then come to my live webinar. I have a live webinar weekly every Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Central Time. And this is definitely for the person that wants to create their own private practice. You don't want to miss this. I talk about revenue flow. I talk about the definition of healthcare focused entrepreneur, talk about patient retention, and also digital products. This is very important for you all to know. So also here's our Q&A section and all of that good stuff. So I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to go back to, obviously our restream and all of that stuff. And yes, Marquette, I'm sorry. I wasn't able to see that, but yes. Marquette, we do have programs for registered nurses. So if you don't mind, Marquette, I will ask you just to go ahead and email me here. And then we'll talk about it and see exactly what, would work for you. It's very important. Again, I have worked in so many different areas in private practice. And what's funny, and I know you guys are like, where are you? So I am in Florida, but it's raining. So I'm in Gulf Breeze, Florida. And I have been creating my practices for, a couple weeks now. And I really wanted to get these courses out there because it's important. I believe that courses that are live, you can never take away from that. Even if you forget or you're not able to join the actual live, we will have a recording that will be available for you immediately after the live. Now, all of you do know that if you are using Zoom or whatever, it's going to take a second for the recording to download. Some of our classes are going to be 1 to 2 hours long. So we do have to, obviously have that. But it's extremely, extremely important that you show up. Also, what's important is that you contact me and a staff member. We can't learn if we don't ask questions. You can't learn also if you don't feel comfortable. So this is the last thing that I'll say, and then we'll end it from there. So all of our courses start June 1st, and that starts with an orientation. The orientation was with me and also another staff member to go over exactly what is expected, right? What do you expect from me? Right? For me to deliver to you. I see a lot of courses that they're doing well and they're great, but are they really what you need to learn? Are you going to take away something and say, gosh, I really learned from this person? And that's what I want to be. But I also want to have feedback from you if I don't make that mark, because I have to get nothing, I have to get better. Right? This is my, first course, but I have been teaching people for a long time. In private practice, you teach people all of the time. And that's something that I want to be able to do, for you. So if you go to healthcareandbusiness.com, you should be able to see my new website. If not, go ahead and DM me and I will go ahead and send it over. Right now, actually, there's a storm here. So it was a little crazy. So hopefully right now, but it was really kicking. I was like, oh my gosh, hopefully nothing falls over. But right now we are okay, everyone. So I'll let you know if anything else happens. But again, I'm super, super excited for this. People that know me know that you can contact me. People that know me and you will get to know me, message me. I will tell you though, on LinkedIn, if I get like 100 messages, all your messages go down. So always make sure that if I don't answer, if you could just message it again so that it comes up to the top, because I always tell people that all the time. That could possibly happen. And we don't want that, to happen where I miss that. All of our courses, I think, are affordable. They're $497, for each course, but you can get a bundle of 3 and they are $997 for 3 courses. Also, our Discord channel is $49.97, and you're going to get nothing but just amazing information, and also staying in communication with top healthcare people. I'll give you an example. We have Sarah Badaman. She owns HIPAA and HIPAA is amazing because it's an actual software that kind of takes the compliance officer out of things, especially, for the small business owner. You might not be able to have an actual compliance person. Well, guess what? There's a software there. We have a partnership with her. I have a lot of great people. Ashley Evans, she is not only a healthcare coach, she's also a nurse practitioner who works for our nation's veterans as well, for the VA, and she owns Psych Life T-shirts. It's a tea company. And I'm not able to show it to you, but I just got a mug and it says mental health matters. And then also she has different things. One of the things, the people that I associate with are people, right, that know so much. Also, we have Catherine, right? She's Catherine. Oh, Catherine's here over here. She's in the comments, okay? And she has an executive degree from GW University, okay? And that is another really great resource. She's worked in so many areas of healthcare. You have no idea what she knows. She is one of my go-to people where I'm like, hey, I'm unsure or something like that. It is all about who you know and how can you take the information from who you know and put it out there in the world to help others. Again, I will end with this. I tell people this all the time. You are in healthcare to help people, and I know that you are. But the only way that you can help them is if you run your business accordingly. And I'm seeing a lot of businesses fail. And this is why all of these courses have actually been created. They're created just for you to be amazing and to heal people and to do exactly what you want to do. This is what you want to do. But if you don't know certain things in business that you might have to automate, okay, outsource and delegate, you're going to miss a lot of different things. So, again, thank you so much for joining my live. Go ahead and go to my website, and I hope to see you in the community soon. And